And who said a mama's boy can't be champion? Hola everyone, and welcome to the House of Ippo. Today I want to talk about the second leg on the proverbial stool that's going to be in Ippo's corner when he's finally pushed back into the boxing ring. That is a very long analogy, but we're going to stick with it for right now. Previously, I gave you my theories on why I thought that Kamigawa is going to be one of these legs. You know, something's going to happen to him. Ippo's going to be like, oh crap, something's happening to the coach. I need to maybe go back to the ring. But he's going to need a push from the outside. He's going to need somebody in his corner to really get him back in. And that's really the whole point of this arc, getting you some good seconds. And the second leg on this stool is none other than his mother, Hiroko Makunouchi. That is right, it is not going to be Kumi, though I think Kumi might have a role to play, even though not the biggest fan of her. So, why do I think that Hiroko is going to be this outside force pushing Ippo back to the boxing ring in his gloves? Well, we need to get a little bit of a better understanding of her before we really talk about why she's going to push us in that direction. She was born November 12th, 1949 in Tokyo, Japan. And that is everything that we know about her until she started dating/marrying Kazuo Makunouchi, becoming part of the fishing boat family and the empire that is Makunouchi Fishing Boats. Okay, so there's not a lot of backstory to her in that aspect, but what we do get shows a very strong, studious, and independent woman. Basically, everyone knows, and if you didn't, spoiler, Ippo's father died in a boating accident out in a storm. Basically, he got swallowed up and killed by the ocean. And Hiroko knew it was her opportunity to take hold of this business and help continue keeping this memory of him alive. And honestly, that is really cool. She could have absolutely abandoned it, gone to live with her family, and raised Ippo somewhere else, but she chose to keep this memory alive for Ippo and for her husband, really. And she has been an exceedingly hard worker. She gets up before the cock crows in the morning, and she goes to sleep after everyone else does because she wants this fishing boat to succeed. And she puts in a ton of work that you don't really consider when it comes to running a fishing boat. She scrubs the decks. She lifts the ice buckets. She knows where all the best fishing things are. And she's helped pass this knowledge down to Ippo and really given him his sea legs. I don't know why I thought that was going to be a pun there, but we are where we are with this story. So Hiroko decides that there's no better opportunity to help Ippo toughen up by having him help with the fishing boats. She didn't necessarily want that, but he wanted to help and she wanted him to become better. So she lets him do this. Over the time, Ippo becomes bullied. She kind of feels bad for him. She's like, it's probably the fishing boat. This is probably not going to be a good thing. But she lets him keep doing what she's doing. He discovers boxing, and this is where the story starts. So, Hiroko has never wanted to see Ippo get hurt in the ring. In fact, when Ippo asked her if she wanted to come see a match, she said, "You want me to come and watch you get punched? No, I cannot do that. I'll definitely come when you won't get punched at all." And we all know that this is kind of impossible, but what she's saying is, I want to know that you are safe and well taken care of. And that is such a really dope thing for a mother to want. Obviously, you don't want to see your child get hurt, and Hiroko is all about that life. But she's always been supportive of Ippo in his boxing. She might not have gone and seen him compete, but she takes an interest in his training. She takes an interest in him being injured, obviously. And she takes an interest in his growth as a person. Every single time that Ippo's come back, beaten, battered, and bruised, she's helped nurse him back to health, along with Kumi, but you know. She has also brought his friends on to help on the boat, given them jobs, and she's really helped push him back when he needs to be. Every single time that Ippo has left the boxing ring, he has been given this push, this shove by his mother to say, go back, it's okay. When she was hospitalized and Ippo said, oh, I'll just take up boxing as a hobby, Hiroko, after she got better, said, bro, what are you doing? Basically, she chased him away and said, go back, be where you belong, and become the boxer that you are supposed to be. And that is absolutely amazing and astounding that she's always willing and able to do that for her son. She's willing to take on a little bit of an extra work burden so he can focus on his dreams and his ambitions. And every single time that we get to see different cool things like this from her, we get to see a new side of this love and affection that she has for Ippo. She might not want to see him get hurt, but she's okay with him coming in beaten, battered, and bruised. She says, boxing is your dream. It's okay to be selfish. Sacrifice now. But there are some really interesting thematic notes that I think we need to take a look at when lining this whole thing up with itself. First, when Ippo does his very first title defense, this extraordinarily big match, she gave him the new shoes and she hand-sewed the trunks for this defense. And it was really awesome because she gave him 12 stars on his pants to knock down the 12 knockouts that he has had in the ring. And she also put Ippo across the waistband, and she put Makunouchi a fishing boat across the back so he wouldn't fall on his rear, and that actually did end up saving him quite a few times. But she gives him this during the first step arc, which is oddly fitting because we're in the second step. Weird.
Coincidence? I think not!
We see a few more things that kind of line up with this. As we go further in the story, Hiroko kind of tells Kumi that Ippo won't stop boxing. Even if Hiroko were to ask Ippo to stop, she does not believe that he would truly stop. And we've kind of seen evidence of this. He might not be in the ring, but he is absolutely training himself physically and mentally to become a better boxer. Whether he's doing it subconsciously or not, he's there to really become better. He's wearing weights. He is observing. He's figuring out how to become a better in-fighter by watching out-fighters, in-fighters, and adapting his style. So, Ippo is still technically boxing in a sense, and Hiroko was not wrong about that. But let's jump a little bit further down the line. We've talked about when she was hospitalized. We've talked about when Ippo quit the first time. But what about when Ippo quit the second time? She is the only person who's been stalwart in believing that this will just be a temporary break. And to me, that's really knowing, because the only people who know Ippo as good as she does are potentially Takamura and Kamigawa. And they both believe that Ippo might be coming back to the ring. But the only one who's been 100% confident in saying, no, he will be back, is Hiroko. And to me, that's something a little bit different. She knows that Ippo is not able to stay away from this passion, this drive, this love that's inside of him. And she says to Kumi, again, take this break while you can. Take this lull in the action while you can, because once we go back, it's going to be balls to the wall, pedal to the metal, and we're going to be seeing completely different sides of Ippo. Is basically what she was implying. I might be reaching a little bit into it, but it's what we do when we do what we do. But there's one other important aspect of the mother-son relationship that I think we need to touch on, and that is the fact that Ippo keeps asking, what does it mean to be strong? I don't understand that. What does it mean to be strong? And the only evidence that we have of what Ippo's father would think is coming from the words of Hiroko herself. She asked Ippo if he felt bad, if he felt jealous, if he was upset about stepping back from being the main star in the ring and being a second. And Ippo responded by basically saying, I'm not the main star, but I'm still helping someone to become better. I am still the second star of that match. And Hiroko said that Ippo accepting this meant that, he is strong, that his father would have accepted him as strong. And I think that's kind of what we're adventuring for right now. He's found his father's definition of strong, but he has not quite found his yet. And I think Hiroko wants to push him towards that level. But to get him out of the way, she's going to need to tell a few certain group of people that it's okay for Ippo to go back in the ring. And she honestly, I believe, is going to have an argument with Kumi at some point in time where Kumi and Hiroko are basically going neck and neck at each other. They're doing one of these things. They're like yelling. And, Ippo is kind of sitting there in the middle. He's like, I kind of want to go back to boxing. Kumi turns on him and says, you can't do that. I forbid you. And Hiroko just looks over and straight up goes, Kumi, mind your own gosh darn business. That's right. Business, and let Ippo box. Don't stop somebody else's dream because you are that selfish. Be willing to sacrifice because he will give back to you. I think we're going to see something like that come from Mama Ippo, and I'm really, really excited for it. Like, there are just quite a few different ways that she can bring him back to the ring, but I honestly believe that she kicked off the first step arc, and I hope that she's going to kick off the third step. That back into the ring, this love of boxing, and helping him really fight again. So we've seen that Kamigawa is this first pillar of potentially the boxing stool. Hiroko is the second stool. And next time, we're going to go over the absolutely most important line, the third stool. So let me know what you think in the comments down below. Is Hiroko going to be the one who gives him that proverbial push from the outside to get back into the boxing ring? I don't know. Could be kind of fun. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more Hajime no Ippo related content. And for everyone new and old, welcome and welcome back. It's your boy Lohili, and I'll see you next video.